Dave Ramsey has helped millions of people get out of debt. I'm not here to trash the guy, but if you're hourly, if your paycheck changes week to week based on hours, overtime, layoffs, or slow seasons, his system has some real gaps that nobody talks about. And if you've ever tried to follow his plan and felt like you were failing, I want to show you why it probably wasn't you. Ramsey's whole system was built around a salaried, predictable income. Same amount hits your account every 2 weeks or however frequently you're paid. You know exactly what's coming. You build your budget around it. That works great if that's your life. But most guys I know in the trades don't live like that. You might pull 55 hours one week and 32 the next. You've got a slow month in January and then you're slammed in the spring. Maybe you're on a job that ends and you've got 2 weeks of nothing before the next one starts. That's not a budgeting failure. That's just how this work operates. And when you're trying to run a fixed budget system on a variable income, the math breaks down constantly. You feel like you can't stick to it. You feel undisciplined. You quit, and the problem wasn't your discipline. It was the wrong tool for the job. Ramsey says, save $1,000 starter emergency fund, then throw everything at debt. I get the logic. Create urgency, attack the debt hard. But if you're hourly and you only have $1,000 in reserve, one bad week wipes you out. One truck repair, one medical bill, one slow week where the contractor cuts hours, you're done, and now you're back on the credit card you just paid off. For a salaried person with predictable income, $1,000 buys them time. For a tradesperson, $1,000 is gone before you can blink. The starter emergency fund needs to be bigger for us, closer to 1 full month of fixed expenses before you go hard on debt. Small adjustment changes everything. Ramsey uses a zero-based budget. Every dollar gets assigned before the month starts. It's a great concept, but it's hard to execute when you don't know what this month's check is going to look like. Here's what actually works better on variable income. Budget off your lowest realistic paycheck, not your average, not your best month, your floor, the bottom. Whatever the worst normal week looks like, that's your baseline. Everything above that floor gets allocated in order. Emergency fund first, then debt, then anything else. When a good week hits, you don't lifestyle inflate. That happens a lot. You execute the plan. Different mental model than Ramsey. It fits hourly work a lot better. A salaried worker usually has health insurance, maybe a 401k match, paid sick days, all baked into their compensation. A lot of guys in the trades are self-employed or on short-term contracts or working for smaller contractors where benefits are thin or non-existent. That means you might be paying $400, $600, $800 a month out of pocket for health coverage. That's a massive line item Ramsey's templates don't account for. And there's no talk about disability insurance, which for someone who works with their body is arguably more important than life insurance. If you can't work, you can't earn. That's the real risk for us. His system barely touches it. 3 things. Specific. No fluff. If you do these before the end of the month, you're already ahead of most guys in your position. First, find your floor income. Pull up your last 6 months of pay stubs or log into your bank account and look at deposits. Don't average them. Find the lowest realistic paycheck you brought home in a normal working month. Not a week where you were sick, not a shutdown week, just a normal slow week. That number is your budget. Every fixed expense you have, rent or mortgage, truck payment, insurance, utilities, groceries, has to fit inside that number. If it doesn't fit, you've got a spending problem that no paycheck size is going to fix. And when a good week hits and you bring home more than the floor, that extra money gets a job immediately. Emergency fund first, then debt, then everything else. Second, open a second checking account at a different bank. Call it your gap fund. Set a target of 1 full month of fixed expenses. For most guys, that's somewhere between $2,500 and $4,500. This account has one purpose. It covers you when the work dries up. Slow January, job ends early, contractor runs out of budget. Instead of putting that week on a credit card, you pull from the gap fund and refill it when the work picks back up. Build this before you go hard on any debt. I know that's not what Ramsey says. I'm telling you, it's the right move if you're hourly. Third, find out right now if you have disability insurance and what it actually covers. I'm not talking about workers' comp Workers' comp only covers you if you get hurt on that specific job. I'm talking about what happens if you get hurt off the clock. A car accident on the weekend, you tear your ACL playing with your kids, a heart attack. Workers' comp doesn't touch any of that. If you're W-2 and your employer offers short-term disability, check if you're enrolled. It's usually $20 to $40 a month, and it replaces 60% of your income if you can't work. If you're 1099, you need your own policy, probably like $80 to $150 a month. If you can't work for 3 months, that's $15,000 to $25,000 in lost income. The policy is cheap compared to that risk. Dave Ramsey's not wrong, he's just not talking to you. There's a difference. The principles are solid, but the execution doesn't fit the way hourly work actually operates. Once you adjust for that, the whole thing starts to make a lot more sense. I'm putting this out on my lunch break. Subscribe if you're in the same boat. No suits, no jargon, no advice built for someone with a salary and a pension. Just real numbers for real work. I'll see you in the next one.